Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book Networking Like a Pro and creator of the popular program How to Become a Trusted Authority and Get Your Message Out into the World. Now, I am fired up here today because we are going to talk about three things that you can do to expand your reach and get your message out in the world. Because make no mistake about it, by not doing this, if you're not going to be able to implement these things or whatever the case may be, when people don't do this, prospective clients will simply not know that you exist. And not because you're a bad coach or you don't know what you're doing or you haven't, don't know your stuff. It just won't show up on their radar screen. And because they don't know that you exist, they will not be able to hire you as a coach. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is that when you do some of these things, when you learn them, when you implement them, all kinds of things happen, and most of them are actually very good. First of all, lives change. Secondly, people are impacted. Third, relationships become significantly better. You get more clients, which generates more revenue. And all of this is because you're able to help more people, you're able to impact more folks, you're able to get your message beyond just your friends and family, and be able to do so in a way that has you come across as a trusted authority. Because I know for me personally, I gotta tell you, I struggled with this. People think, oh, well, you've got all this, that, and the other. No, I struggled with this when I was starting off, and even the years afterwards. I was not very well known. People were not aware of the fact that I existed. I was a late adopter to social media. I didn't produce a lot of content, on a consistent basis. Yeah, obviously I've got friends and family and some, clients and stuff locally who knew me, but they didn't know who I was. Now I've got a LinkedIn following of over 17,000 people. I've got a podcast that's been going out since 2016, 150 episodes and more. And I've got clients on all three, well, not all three, but three different countries throughout the world. So what we're going to talk about makes sense. It's something that I have personally done and have been implementing on a regular basis. Here we go. Step number one. Step number one is you want to create what I call symptomatic content. All right. Symptomatic content, quite simply, is it needs to be content that speaks to the symptoms that your prospective clients are facing. Brian, that sounds like witchcraft. You're going to need to unpack that for me. Not a problem. All right. So what happens is when people are going out and doing whatever they're doing, they're not thinking in terms of benefits, right? That's where a lot of people make the mistake. I see a lot of coaches and practitioners, and I used to do this too. You just go out and you just throw stuff out there and blah, blah, blah. No, they think in terms of the problems that they have. Okay. They're thinking in terms of the problems that they're having. They're thinking in terms of the challenges that they're facing. And what we need to do as service providers, as content providers, is we need to be able to meet them where they're at. We need to be able to produce content that talks about how their problem is manifested in their world. If you're a health coach, you talk about how, listen, you know what? Your knee might be hurting, or your back might be hurting, or, you might feel overweight. These are symptoms that they can identify with, as opposed to just saying, I can make you healthy again and read my article and buy my book. Symptomatic content, step number one. If you're not sure how to do that, take a look and see what are some of the problems that you feel are you're solving, and then from there, what are some of the symptoms that come up. Okay, back to the health coach. What's the problem you're solving? Well, you're helping them become healthier and better fit, right? All right, what's some of the symptoms? Well, the other issue is they're overweight. All right, what are some of the symptoms of that? Their knee hurts, their back hurts, they're lethargic, low energy, symptomatic content. That's step number one. Step number two is you need to simplify and streamline your message. This is super important. So let's unpack that. All right, when we talk about simplify your message, what we're talking about is this idea of a clear, consistent marketing message. You have to step back and be like, all right, what do I want to be known for? All right, and that can be a challenge for a lot of us, right? We're like, oh, we've got all these good things. What do I want to be known for? Now, you can put down like one or two things. Like I'll talk about being able to get paid to speak. And I'll also talk about expanding your reach and becoming a thought leader. Like these are things that I talk about, right? That you can do and get yourself known out into the world. Okay, that's fine. So step back. Figure out what is it you want to be known for. Like I was working with a client friend of mine, a transformational coach, and what we want to know for him, it was peace of mind, spirituality, calmness, security, tranquility. Like, that's it. That's what he is, okay? We obviously put that together in a couple of sentences, but have a few words that what you want to be known for. And then in streamlining, choose 2 or 3 platforms. Don't go crazy with this. I see, that's why I say step 2, simplify and streamline. When you talk about simple steps to kind of expand your reach and get your message out into the world, people think, oh, I got to do this huge thing and I got to like endeavor in this huge thing and like, oh my gosh, like one of those like, I don't know, like flapping things you see at the beach. Right? No, 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 no. You don't have to do that. And it's not a bird. The flapping things like in the water that you see in the beach, right? Not a fish either. I don't know what they are. Anyway, the point is that you choose 2 or 3 platforms. Me, I'm a LinkedIn man. I have my podcast. I told you about that. And I have a Facebook group. Okay, those are my 3 things. All right. Now, I'm going to be branching out to some other ones. We're talking about maybe going over to Instagram. We're taking a look at some other stuff. My point, simplify, streamline, you'll be on your way.